Do you realize just how long it's been since the last classic 5-fret Guitar Hero game was released? Let me put you in the mind frame of the times. Epic Sax Guy? Their performance on Eurovision happened only a few months prior, and the Bed Intruder song was the most popular YouTube video of the year. Guitar Hero Warriors of Rock came out in September of 2010, and while we didn't know it at the time, it would be the final game in the 5-fret franchise, at least for now. Of course, there was the short-lived 6-fret reboot that was Guitar Hero Live in October of 2015, but that's a topic for a separate video. We'll cover that in the future. While Guitar Hero had fallen out of the mainstream, players continued to push boundaries and take development into their own hands. Guitar Hero 3 on PC was modded by community members and allowed things that the console games never did. Players like Jay Durand, Dupian, and Brad Master, they all helped pioneer streaming Guitar Hero custom songs on Twitch. They helped pave the way for what would come next. Everything changed when the Clone Hero Nation attacked. I was approached by the developer of Clone Hero, Strikeline, in August of 2017. He asked me to try the game out, and it looked interesting enough, so I said sure. I approached Clone Hero skeptically, but was quickly won over by just how easy it was to use compared to GH3 PC. Guitar Hero 3 on PC was passable, but there were many issues with getting the game to work smoothly. Importing songs required extra software, which was GH3 PC Toolkit, and a little bit of knowledge too. Clone Hero eliminated this by making custom song installations a simple drag and drop into the right file folder. The arrival of Clone Hero completely changed the scene. But that's more than enough history and context. Let's fast forward to today. Both drums and online have been added to Clone Hero. Both are huge additions. Pro Drums is the most fun I've had with the game, and I'd wholeheartedly recommend checking this out if you have access to an e-kit. It's been more than 5 years since Clone Hero's release, and it's still going strong. Hundreds of thousands of players still loaded up each month to jam out. All good news, right? Well, unfortunately, everything isn't sunshine and rainbows. Original controllers are harder for new players to find than ever. Additionally, major cheating scandals have broken in the last few months, with one garnering coverage on Kotaku. If you'd like to learn about what exactly went down with that cheating, check out Carl Jope's video on the topic, link in the description. While Clone Hero still does the trick for casual gameplay, players on the hardcore side in the community have been voicing their concerns. Whether it's lack of gameplay updates, issues with the timing window while they're hitting notes, or even the most recent cheating episodes, frustration is boiling over. Godspeed if you're on Clone Hero Twitter. One part of the problem dates back to April 2019. A new project named Strikeline, a follow-up to Clone Hero, was announced by their dev team in a blog post. Originally referred to as Project Note Hitter, a brief look to the future in their June 2019 blog states, post V23, we're likely to look at finally ripping out all of the assets in Clone Hero, getting all new assets in, and finally migrating over to the Strikeline brand for the game. And this makes sense. Using assets that were ripped directly from the Guitar Hero series is brazen. Unfortunately, no public progress has been made on this so far. Activision's uncomfortable gaze still looms over Clone Hero. Zooming out on the blog post I just mentioned, the dev team also sold Clone Hero branded shirts to help fund the development of Strikeline. The blog states, any proceeds made from the sale of these shirts is going right to the development of Strikeline, so if you've ever wanted to help support us in the run-up to getting this game out to you, this is your chance. Since that blog post announcing the shirts, 8 more blogs have been posted to their website with only one mentioning Strikeline. The one mentioned from their September 2019 update is as follows. Once the V23 cycle finishes off and we do the final V23.x update, as we move into Strikeline territory, we'll be looking once again at the UI systems. This is the last public mention on their website I could find in regards to Strikeline. It's unclear if anything else created for this project exists. The logos are pretty much the only thing that has been shown. During one of my recent streams, Strikeline from the Clone Hero team was in my chat while I was discussing this topic. He said, not even sure why we announced a name for a new game other than to just give people something to call it whenever we mentioned anything new. How could we possibly blame folks for expecting more? After so long, it's only natural to think, well, okay, maybe this whole Strikeline thing isn't happening. So then what comes next? What does the future hold for Guitar Hero style games? Enter ScoreSpy. The most recent noteworthy additions to Clone Hero came from a new fork of the game. This new ScoreSpy edition of Clone Hero not only enables global leaderboards for all custom songs, but there's also an anti-cheat built in to prevent incidents like we mentioned earlier. Alongside these major changes, there are other smaller quality of life improvements, such as being able to see the exact percentage of star power in your bar. Another lovely update is a button press counter to see exactly when you're pressing notes. Now, ScoreSpy does have a few downsides. No online play is the largest. However, as long as you're playing single player, the additions from ScoreSpy make for a much better Clone Hero experience. So, seeing how the ScoreSpy edition of Clone Hero even exists, why weren't these features just baked directly into the original Clone Hero? Why are there two separate versions of the game? The answer is wildly unfulfilling. Long story short, the developers on each side disagreed and drama went down. This agreement, as posted by a Clone Hero developer's Twitter account, was put in place between the Clone Hero and ScoreSpy dev teams. Some of the bullet points are quite interesting. No core changes to gameplay allowed. Future advertisements for Strikeline. Limiting the scope of features without consulting the Clone Hero team. Bottom line, the ScoreSpy team has their hands tied even though they're providing some of the best new features to Clone Hero's community. Looking at the stats that are public on ScoreSpy's website, it seems most Clone Hero players don't even know the ScoreSpy build exists. Does that mean we've reached the end of the line? Is this version of Clone Hero the best we're going to get? Thankfully, no. Pressure is mounting in the community for new features and options. Multiple new games are currently in development to fill the plastic instrument niche. Let's look beyond Clone Hero to what other games are coming in the future. First off, the developers of ScoreSpy have decided to make their own game using features they created for Clone Hero. The project named RhythmScape just started development in September 2022 and already has fun things to show. RhythmScape is being developed with frame rate independent inputs, which in theory means similar gameplay regardless of PC hardware. This is huge. Needing a top PC to hit notes shouldn't be a thing. Knowing the game is built on top of the already existing ScoreSpy functionality we've seen in Clone Hero makes the deal even sweeter. Throw in full 3D RTX on craziness, and you've got an exciting idea for a rhythm game. Of course, RhythmScape just started development, and we're a long way from getting it in our hands. But here's a positive note. They've already created a working replay system. Frame rate consistent inputs means replays will work even on different hardware. There isn't much else to show on RhythmScape so far, but keep an eye on their Discord server for more information on the project as it moves forward. While RhythmScape is a way off from seeing any kind of public testing, there is a game currently in alpha testing on Steam that deserves a look. Fret Smasher has been around since 2019, and to be honest, at first it was a bit of a meme, but credit to their dev team. They've stuck with this game, and it's slowly but surely turning into a rather fun experience. But why try Fret Smasher when Clone Hero exists? What does it have to offer? First off, for a game that's still in alpha, it's gorgeous. The highway feels like I'm looking at Guitar Hero through HD nostalgia vision. If you don't like the default look, that's okay too. The entire UI is customizable. Custom themes with graphics and sounds can be shared with the community. While testing Fret Smasher, I saw themes recreating Guitar Hero 3, Guitar Hero iOS, and even Warriors of Rock for the Clone Hero look. The possibilities are endless. There's also whatever this is.
This is a certified hood classic.
On top of the looks and sounds, the engine itself is different than Clone Hero. The hit window is tighter, with no infinite front end. It feels similar to playing Guitar Hero 2, if not slightly more forgiving. Some Clone Hero players may find this a bit too challenging. Fear not though, Cheats unlock as you play the game to allow different options. Drunk mode, for example, doubles the hit window. There's even a cheat, Big Brain, that makes every note lane a different speed. Options like these make the game feel like an evolution of the formula rather than just a clone. For fans of classic Guitar Hero games, Fret Smasher has a campaign mode that goes a step further. This game has the ability to create custom campaigns. You can even include cutscenes which will trigger as you play through the set. Let's not forget there's also a full battle mode as well, featuring unique attacks with more on the way in the future. If you don't have a friend to battle with, the game has bots to play against. Fret Smasher has serious potential, looking to eventually feature not just guitars, but keyboards, drums, and turntables as well. What are the downsides? Leaderboards only work for included songs, of which there are currently 10. There are still bugs, which is to be expected for a game in alpha. Guitar is playable, but drums are not yet included with no ETA. Likewise, online gameplay is a feature the devs want to include, but are way off from implementing. Last point on Fret Smasher. This is a closed test. You do currently need access to play the game. Fortunately, the devs are adding new users every update and the game is seeing multiple patches weekly. If you'd like to try Fret Smasher for yourself, request access to the game on Steam. Link to Fret Smasher's page in the description. After requesting your Fret Smasher key, there's one other Guitar Hero style game in the works you might want to keep an eye on. A few former members of the Fret Smasher development team have broken away and are making their own game, DownBeat. Not much is concrete about the project. Both their website and social media are blank. However, the game is being publicly developed on Twitch, so footage is available. The graphics look appealing, and the ability to click through menus with a mouse is welcomed. That said, they've got a long way to go. Honestly, keep that in as a cheat or something. DownBeat does have a Discord server if you're interested in following the development. The footage so far looks promising, and it's great to have more options in rhythm gaming. Last but not least, we can't finish this topic off without going back to the franchises that kicked off the plastic instrument craze in the first place. Could we ever see a new Guitar Hero game? Or a new Rock Band? Will they ever be an option? While it's easy to say who knows one more time, the truth is it's entirely possible. In January 2022, the CEO of Activision, Bobby Kotick, was interviewed by VentureBeat. During this discussion, he was asked a question about the metaverse. Kotick's answer transitioned and he stated, "You look at all the opportunities that we get with a company like Microsoft. I'll give you one great example. Phil and I started riffing on things for the future. I'll give you 3 that are really compelling. I wanted to make a new Guitar Hero for a while, but I don't want to add teams to do manufacturing and supply chain and QA for manufacturing, and the chip shortages are enormous. We know for a fact Activision wants to do a new Guitar Hero, but logistics means waiting to finalize the Microsoft deal." Kotick continued, "We didn't have the ability to do that, the team and chip shortage he just mentioned. I had a really cool vision for what the next Guitar Hero would be, and realized we don't have the resources to do that. It is slightly worrying the other 2 really compelling things for the future were Skylanders and Candy Crush." Not to mention, this entire talking point came from a question about the metaverse in the first place. If we do see another official Guitar Hero reboot, there's a chance we may not like what we see. On the other side, what about Rock Band? Well, in November of 2021, Harmonix was acquired by Epic Games. Detailed in the studio's blog post, the Rock Band developers were set to work on creating musical journeys and gameplay for Fortnite. Also included in the blog's FAQ was confirmation joining the Epic Games family would not lead to new controllers being made. Any potential plans for future Rock Band titles are unknown at this time. There's always the off chance we could see Rock Band 5 on the Epic Games Store somewhere down the line. On the positive side, new DLC for Rock Band 4 is still being produced, so fans of the series do have something small to tide them over, which is more than Guitar Hero fans can say. This is the current landscape of Guitar Hero style rhythm games. Uncertainty about the future of this genre is warranted with everything we've seen. We do not know what Clone Hero will look like in a few years. We don't know if Strikeline will ever be a thing. For all we know, we may never see another Guitar Hero or Rock Band title. While I doubt that to be the case, I'm not concerned if it is. Personally, I'm enamored with the talented people who've made the Clone Hero community possible. People have stepped up with passion. They've kept this scene alive even without an official Guitar Hero around. People who've spent countless hours to make content for fans of a genre more than 10 years past its prime. The charters who make customs of everything imaginable. The developers creating entire new game platforms. Content creators who've pushed boundaries of what's possible and kept fans engaged. The passion in this community is unmatched. If Strikeline never happens and worst case, Clone Hero goes away, others are already working on options. For all we know, a Strikeline trailer could be just around the corner. We'll see. Even with the drama abound and the uncertainty in the air, the future beyond Clone Hero still looks pretty damn good. This is the first long-form video essay like this that I've ever produced, so I'm really looking forward to your feedback on it. If you'd like to see more like this in the future, please hit the like and subscribe buttons. It would be greatly appreciated. Comments on this video can be used as discussion with the developers for all the games I've talked about today. Is there something that needs to be in these games? Did I miss a subject entirely? Let us know in the comments. Thank you so much for watching. Have a great rest of your day. Rock on, Paradise City.